guys, welcome to another unboxing and review. This time it's the CyberGun FAMAS F1. Alright, let's see what you get when you purchase the gun. So you get a nice detailed manual, shows you all the stuff you would expect, sight adjustments, loading, fire selector controls, battery install. You also get a standard charger, wall charger. Highly recommend getting something better than this. You get an 8.4 volt 1100 mAh battery. This is kind of weak. I would recommend at least a 9.6. I'm going to be running a LiPo in here when I shoot it. But if you are a beginner and it's your first gun, it's very affordable and it comes with pretty much everything you need. And of course you get the gun here, which is the main reason. Let's get that out. So my initial impressions of the gun, it's right about the size I'd expect it to be. The FAMAS is like this mystique about it, and it's real famous in video games, but not too much real world application other than the French military and police. This is pretty much as close as you're going to get to a real one. They're extremely hard to find in the real steel version. Unfortunately, not much steel going on in here. It's all plastic outer body, which is somewhat realistic to the real gun, but it shouldn't be entirely plastic. It should be partially plastic. Looks like the important stuff is metal, like the magazine, the barrel, the flash hider, the bipod, sling mount, stuff where you'll actually be putting a lot of pressure or resistance on. So it's good that they put the metal into where it counts. You kind of expect that sort of quality in something that's under $200. As far as operation, let's see, you get your magazine here, which looks like an M4 magazine, but on this F1 version of the FAMAS, it has a proprietary mag catch. The magazine locks in here with the mag catch, where on the standard M4 magazine it locks on the side here. So you can't use M4 mags with this, and that's a shame. Like take a P mag here for example, not happening. See the mag catch recess on the M4 is over here, where on the FAMAS it's on the front. So they're totally different in how they retain the magazine. I guess later generations of the actual real steel FAMAS were then adjusted to use a standard M4 magazine, but the F1 edition, which is what we're looking at here, does not do that. But you do get a high cap. It seems to be a good quality high cap. You also get a built-in bipod. It just flips out. There's nothing to push or to pull. I just swivel out the legs and you're good to go. Get a dummy charging handle. The battery goes in the front handguard here. To get to it, you swivel out this safety, which is a functional safety. You swivel it out to the front and then you push on it. When you do that, then you could slide the handguard forward. Speaking of the safety, you have your one safety here in front of the trigger, which is not just decorative. It actually it cuts off power to the motor, so when it's on, you can't pull the trigger. So you swivel that out of the way to get to the trigger. And then you have your fire controls down here. It's either off, which is basically safe, then you have your single in the middle, and then you have your full auto on the end. Unfortunately, this is kind of reversed from the real steel one. On the real gun, this here swivels left and right, and one way you get a single round shot and the other way you get full auto, and then the back lever flips 180 degrees between either full auto or 3-round burst. You do get a nice metal flash hider here, and you have the sliding gas adjustment system, which is totally useless on an airsoft gun, but on the real steel it's designed for launching grenades and adjusts the gas pressure, I believe. You have this swivel out sight, which is a grenade launcher sight as well, and you have a bunch of flip down, flip up sights on the back here, including this midway sight. The front sight just swivels left and right. This is the part I really don't like about the gun. There's no positive anything, no clicking, no wheel to turn, and they don't retain their position very well. If they get bumped or anything, your sights are out of alignment immediately. I guess the idea is because you have this carry handle, it protects the sides, so In theory, you shouldn't be bumping into them too much, but that's a lot of assumptions going on. So these sights, I would really not bet my life on them. To compensate for that, I got a rail which locks into the top of the carry handle, and on there I could mount an optic, and you'll see me do that later. Alright, so that's the overall kind of look and feel of the gun, but let's take it out, shoot it, chrono it, and then I'll come back and I'll let you know how it performs. Alright, well you guys saw me shoot it, and I gotta say it's a really consistent shooter. I don't like the iron sights. What I mentioned before in the opening is that they're flimsy and they're all over the place, and then now after shooting it with my helmet set up on, it's really hard for me to line up with them. I know I can't really fault the gun for that because it's not designed for people to use mesh masks and GoPro cams and all that stuff that gets in the way. But we are using it for airsoft, and if you're airsofting, you're most likely wearing some kind of face protection, so it's going to make it that much harder to line up the sights. And they're not that great of sights at all. They're very small and hard to find, and you have almost no peripheral vision when you're looking at them because they're just blocked off by the carry handle. So I put the rail on top of here to do that. We'll have to remove this secondary sight here. It might be a grenade launcher sight. So take that off entirely. This goes into the spot, and then you'd have to take off the rail off this added mount and screw 2 screws into the carry handle. I think it's sort of optional because this holds it in place. And then put that back on and screw this knob on the side, and it's on there really solid. It's not going anywhere. Now putting the EOTech makes it much easier to acquire your target, but because it sits so high now on top of the carry handle and the cheek rest is so low, you're kind of shooting almost like this with your chin resting on the cheek rest instead of your cheek. Because if you put your cheek here, even with the mask on, you're looking at like the back of your sight. Maybe a low profile optic would work really well, but I found myself doing this to acquire the target because the optic was at out of my vision completely if I didn't. Right now, the way it stands, it's sort of a no solution either way. You either have horrible iron sights that you can't get to, or you have your optics sitting too high where you have to shoot off an awkward, unnatural stance. You have to force yourself into that. The solution might be is to pad this cheek rest, which also, I forgot to mention, comes off and houses the hop-up up here. So that's really nice. So maybe putting something on top of here, screwing on aftermarket cheek rest, that could be one way to solve that problem. But I'll see if I use this gun in battle, that I might have to do something like that. It shoots really well, very consistent. You saw the FPS, it's right under 400, so it's good for outdoor use. Of course, it's a bullpup, and every bullpup video you've ever seen, everybody mentions that the action's behind the trigger. So your mech box is back here, and you have a pretty long inner barrel running here, so it should be an accurate gun just by default. Overall, I like the gun. It's really good for the price range it's at, under $200, right around $150 actually. So you're getting a good deal. The sights are flimsy but workable. It's airsoft. You can shoot just by walking the BBs in. The high cap seems to fit really well. Has a good capacity. I'd recommend getting at least another one, because even though it's a high cap, it's a small magazine in overall shape, so it's not going to hold as many BBs as a AK mag or a long M4 mag. The bipod's nice and sturdy. It's a good gun for the deal. I wish it had a few more features. I wish it was more realistic. Some of my gripes are with the actual gun itself, so can't really fault the airsoft version for it. It's not the most practical gun to use. It's a little clumsy and awkward, but this is a good choice. It's a clone of the Marui, the original airsoft AEG really, but those are pretty much non-existent, and they were never really good shooters from what I understand. If you're trying to do a French impression, or you just like the look of the gun, I think this is a good choice. It could use a couple upgrades and some exterior upgrades to make it easier to actually use the gun, and it could be a really efficient shooter at that point. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.